Long freaking day at work. I have to get comfy right now. Just BRB, getting comfy. So much better. We can do this now. So I wanted to have a bit of a comfy conversation today about goodbyes, right? Because that's something I've had to do a couple times recently, and it's something that you have to do a lot of times in your life, all the time, really. There's always some kind of goodbye happening. The way I like to look at goodbyes is that there are three basic types of them. You have the sort of like, I'll see you later goodbye, so it's not really that big of a deal. You have the, I'm not going to see you nearly as often as I would like to see you goodbye, or you have the permanent goodbye, somebody dying, which is awful. The first one isn't too difficult to deal with. Obviously, the third one is really freaking difficult to deal with, but that's not the one I want to talk about today. I want to talk about that middle guy, which I almost gave you the finger there. I was about a split second from giving you the finger, not on purpose, not out of malice, but just by accident. I've had to say that kind of goodbye, the second kind, to a lot of people in the last 3 weeks or so. And what's especially devastating about this type of goodbye sometimes is that it can happen so quickly after you just said hello to that person, which makes it all the more devastating. VidCon happened, it was a thing, but it was also a thing that was only a week long in my life. So I get out there, I see people who I haven't seen for over a year, say, oh my gosh, hey, I missed you so much, let's hang out all the time. You hang out for a bit, and then you say goodbye for like another year. That's a lot. I've also had to say goodbye to other people who I've become very close to in a very short amount of time, but also have now distance-wise, become very much separated from. So it's not like a permanent goodbye, like I'm never gonna see you again, but it's a, I'm not gonna see you nearly as often as I would like to see you, and that sucks. Like everything, it's a part of life, which is kind of stupid to say, since everything is a part of life. But I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm sticking to it. I'm keeping this take. There's a part of you that never wants to say goodbye in these situations, that never wants whatever present is happening to end, but the present has to end and become the past. That's how time works. At least that's my understanding of time. And the issue then becomes a battle between being sad that it's over and then being happy that it happened, and then the future being terrifying and unknown. With any kind of relationship, be that platonic, romantic, whatever kind of relationship you're in, time makes it much more likely that it might fail. You combine time and separation, and it's even more likely that it will fail. And that's a scary, scary thought, especially if it's a very cherished relationship in your life. And while that's really freaking scary, I mean, like, really, I don't want to undermine that. That is so scary. That's a terrifying thing. It can also have the opposite effect, as well. It can strengthen a relationship if it's a really good relationship that you're having. I like to switch the perspective around a bit on goodbyes sometimes to make me feel better for the most part, but also just because it's the reasonable thing to do. I like to look at it not necessarily as goodbye, this is ending, but as a let's see the next chapter. In a way, it's kind of more of an invitation for the future than a closing of the past. Now, obviously, that's a lot easier said than done, and it doesn't eliminate all the hard stuff when it comes to goodbyes, but it does help you feel better and feel a little bit more optimistic about that future hello versus the present goodbye. And in an ideal situation, it kind of stops becoming a goodbye and it becomes a I can't wait to see you again. And that is a really special feeling, because at that point you're not only saying to this other person, but you're saying to yourself that I'm gonna fight to make whatever friendship, whatever relationship, whatever this is, I'm gonna fight to keep that going, because it's that important to me that I will continue to fight for something even if it isn't there physically in front of my face. So that is my thoughts on that type of goodbye, the I'm not gonna see you for a while goodbye. I would love to know, obviously, this is a comfy conversation, I would love to know what you guys think about this whole thing, but because I'm the king of segues, I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys, but it's just for a few days, right? It's not that big of a deal. As always, I'm Connor Manning, you've just become a little more awesome, and I will see you guys on Monday. Something fracking awesome happened. We hit 25,000 subscribers, and like this is like when I think about the big milestones, that's a big one. That's quarter to the 100,000. It's a big one for me. So you know what that means. We have the signs. So I'm gonna make another sign. But like, okay, ready for this? Old work schedule, right? Conservation. Go Earth. Also, I didn't feel like going upstairs. It's a poorly drawn sign, that's kind of the point. Here we go, ready? Making this bad sign. Also, while I'm making this, I would like to mention that I did a video with a good friend, Joey, and I will link that in the description. There might be some three-way man spoon, might not be. That's up to you to kind of check out. And I'm also in a video tomorrow on my friend Aaron's channel, which again, that will be linked in the description. So yeah, go check those out. They're a lot of fun. Those guys are a lot of fun, and I recommend their channels very highly. But without further ado, let's hang this sign. Not gonna lie, this could be the best sign of the 5. Here we go! Oh my gosh, big moment! Big moment, friends. Big moment. Big moment, friends. Huge moment. And I'm wearing my DJ Mickey Mouse hoodie. I'm comfy. And we hit 25,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people. Phew.